I'm Richard Dugan. Thank you very much for joining us here on Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We are going to be talking today with a couple who are here in Santa Barbara sharing their music, their vision, their love, their light, and they are Tina Malia.
Paint your silver arrow with the sky.
And GuruGanesha sing.
I believe in one God, a divine nature of us all.
I want to welcome both of you to the program as well as to Santa Barbara.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Richard.
You are musicians, but even more so, I've had an opportunity to go to both of your websites and not only listen to your music, but you are also helping to support a particular group, if you will, foundation. And if you could, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourselves, the music that you provide that people will be able to listen to.
Well, the music that we're doing for this tour, for the Song of the Soul tour, is a combination of music from all over the world, different traditions, different spiritual traditions, different Indigenous traditions, and some in English, original songs. And we just are, wanting to bring different sacred music from around the world into one night of music and just to kind of show people that it's all one. We're all one. We're all doing the same thing. We're all the same humans, and we want to express that love through music. And
Guru, how about yourself? And by the way, how should I address you?
Well, Guru is a lot of pressure, So.
Oracle doesn't work.
Ganesh is fine.
Ganesh, all right. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your music. I read a little bit about your history, and you go back to, 1973 with some transforming events.
Well, I was born in 1950, and I was a child of the 60s, and, so I have a lot of influence in my music from the great artists of the 60s, Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead, and Jimi Hendrix, and Eric Clapton, and then also of last 6-7 years, I've, really dived deeply into classical Indian raga. So, it's kind of a fusion of East and West, blues, jazz, rock, classical Indian raga, kirtan, Now with Tina, too, Tina is very, very versatile, and she does devotional music, she does pop, she does electronica. So it's really a magnificent stretch for me musically. It's a real celebration of our oneness. And because we're singing the sacred words of many different spiritual paths and traditions, but we were just having a blast. The concerts are really fun.
Now, is this sort of your first nationwide tour, so to speak, or have you been traveling and touring for years?
We've been traveling and touring separately. GuruGanesha has traveled for many, many years with a woman named Sanatam Kaur. And I've traveled myself in different incarnations of bands under Tina Malia, but this is our first time with this collaboration and this group of musicians that we're working with, which is just a world-class group of very talented musicians.
Now, I know that both of you have your own separate websites, and also you appear on one website together, specifically promoting this tour. Your website is?
Mine is tinamalia.com.
And Guru?
GuruGanesha.com.
And we can go there and we can listen to your music. We can find out more about you and the work you're doing, in particular with a foundation, which I was absolutely amazed at and very much intrigued by. Can you tell us a little bit about this foundation of these 13 Indigenous grandmothers?
This is really Tina's inspiration, so I'll let her speak to it.
Well, it's 13 grandmothers from all over the world, different countries, a lot of them from varying Indigenous traditions, and who really have a dedication to not only preserving the traditions from around the world, but coming together and uniting as these elder women to keep these ways alive, everything from medicinal plants to, just creating sustainable structures and everything in between, growing food, just to keep our planet alive and thriving, and in ways that in their time they actually grew up doing that and have seen the Industrial Revolution come in and wipe out a lot of these traditions, a lot of cultures, and that they've actually seen it with their own eyes and have kept these traditions. So they've banded together to try to teach the world and give their love in the best way that they can. And it's so aligned with what we're doing as far as bringing, different spiritual teachings from different cultures and seeing where we can all meet and teach each other and help each other. So we chose to align with them because it's pretty much exactly what we're trying to do with our tour.
Have you met these women?
I have had the opportunity to meet maybe 4 out of 13 of them, and they're just stunning. They're just amazing. I've had the chance to speak to a couple of them on the phone, and I've just been in tears as soon as I hear their voices. They're so rich and soulful, these women.
Now, I understand there is a vision or prophecy that surrounds these 13 women. Can you tell me about that?
Well, it's, I can't remember the exact person or the exact prophecy, but there was a prophecy that at this time, 13 grandmothers would come together, and that would be when that happened, they would come together, and that would be the beginning of this next age that would be bringing love and light. I mean, of course it exists here, but we're in a pretty challenging time on the planet, and it was prophesized that when these women came together, that would be a mark of a new time that would be bringing peace back to the planet.
Now, I remember listening to some of the videos online of these 13 women, and it was described that one of these grandmothers was given, as a child, 13 eagle feathers and 13 stones, and was told, you are going to be part of this Council of 13, etc. Are you familiar with this story, and can you share a little more on that?
Well, it was one of the women's grandmothers, and exactly like you said, she gave her granddaughter, I think she was really young, like 9 or 10 or something, and she gave her these gifts and said, in your lifetime, you will be part of this council of 13 grandmothers, and here are these gifts that when that comes together, you are to give each of these women these gifts, and then that will unite you all. And so she held them for her whole lifetime, for how many years? 70, 80 years. And, just kind of waiting for that moment. And then, alas, it came, and she said she just was crying and crying and crying and so grateful because her grandmother was correct. She had the insight, and she saw, and she knew. And, yeah.
Now, these 13 women have come together, these grandmothers, I guess I should refer to them. I've even, because I've done a little research years gone by in terms of what's referred to as a crone. And that these women would fall under that category, that not old crones in terms of old crotchety women that they're mean and ornery, but that is a title, that is a title, if you will, of wisdom and honor, that they have something to offer.
Well, there's no love on this earth like the love of a mother and the love of a grandmother, and these women carry such wisdom. And, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and it's the age of the divine goddess. And it's a time where if we really embrace the wisdom of the divine mother, the grandmother, then she will guide us to that, worldwide enduring peace that we've really all been longing for and praying.
This is the sound of one heart starting to hear.